Dzień dobry, witam bardzo, ale to bardzo serdecznie w kolejnym epizodzie Zagrajmy w Disco Elysium. Trochę się zastanawiałem, czy kontynuować. Kontynuujemy. Dobra. Jak stoimy z questami? Punkt jakiś do rozdania? Nie. Idź, póki zobaczysz promenady. No dobra. Ciało na promenadzie to musimy zadzwonić. O, dobra, idziemy tu pułapkę ogarnąć. To wstrzymujemy. Weź kurtkę idioty. Chyba mam kurtkę idioty. Dobra. Gdzie ten idiota zazwyczaj był? O! Jest i on.
𝗧𝗪𝗏
Oto twoja kurtka.
Ah, tequila. I knew you'd Let me see. What? This isn't my jacket. My jacket was beautiful. This is fucking filthy. What am I supposed to do with this?
Przykro mi, taką ją znalazłem.
I'm not taking a disgusting pile of hobo rags. Either bring it back the way it was before, or
You know, despite the guano,
No dobra. A praczka?
Our tenant, the policeman. I hope the waves don't keep you up.
Mogłaby pani ją dla mnie wyczyścić?
I can wash it for you, but it's going to take about a half an hour. Think you can stay put for that?
I could use a breather. It's been another track and field day.
Oczywiście, poczekam.
Well, hand it over then, and I'll see what I can do.
No właśnie.
Must say, I'm proud of this one. It's pretty nice underneath all that filth. I hope you take better care of it than...
Okej, super. Teraz? Teraz to przyjmiesz?
tequila sunset. My jacket?
A look of consternation crosses the man's face. He looks at you, then at his bottle.
What the fuck are you talking about, tequila?
Czy mówisz, że to nie twoja kurtka?
𝗬𝗨? That's medium concept stuff, not my style at all. I can't...
It becomes abundantly clear to you how this man managed to lose his keys, business, friends, and girlfriend.
You know what? Fine. Maybe I can pawn it for some booze.
Aye, good thinking.
Gdzie była jego kurtka? Czekaj. To nie była jego kurtka? Może to nie była jego kurtka? Nie wiem. Mam po prostu jakiegoś laga. Nie wiem o co w tym chodzi. Dobra. Kij z tym. Niezależnie, czy to jest jego kurtka, czy to nie jest jego kurtka. Chuj, quest jest zamknięty. Mamy to z głowy. Zadowolony jest. Chyba. Teraz idziemy do Whirling. Idziemy zapytać o tą pułapkę pustą. Potrzebujemy również broni, ale ją otrzymamy po 22. Kurde, to jest...
Hey, was there something you needed?
It's great to see you again, officer.
Oh, sweetie, I don't even know how to thank you for finding my husband and helping him out. I hope we haven't been too much trouble for you.
Truly a lot of legwork. My partner adores these kinds of things.
Here, I want to give you a small token of my gratitude.
The little silvery knob holding the tie together feels warm in your hand. You could ask her about this when you get the time.
Oh, you don't want to hear about some old woman's
Ramblings? Nonsense.
Darling, I didn't even get the
You were a child, my dear. Really. It's extraordinary what you were able to describe.
That is a way bigger compliment than it sounds like. Reflexively, the lieutenant Redis is familiar.
Well, it was summer. I was building a racing track out of sand on the beach near a tall stand of reeds. Quite a tall one. Many times my height, I remember. I'm getting ahead of myself.
She'd just started forming memories. Real memories. Not the billowy haze of Betoncourt got bombed in the war. It used to be quite near.
The strangest moment of my life. I looked up and one of the reeds moved. Not like a plant, but like a living thing. It stood up and looked at me. Its body unfolded like some antique toy. I've never seen anything like it. I didn't know this can happen, so I reached my arm and touched the thing. It felt just like a stalk of reed, but it moved, swaying, towering above me. After a while, 20 seconds, a minute maybe, it left, went into the reeds. I tried, but I was only a child. There was mud and high water. I couldn't see it anymore. I was just standing there, knee-deep in mud, looking around me.
Where did you go? Don't go.
Co było dalej?
I ran back home to my grandmother and asked her if reeds could walk, and told her they were looking at me. For years, it was a story I told at parties when I wanted to impress boys. That sort of thing. Of course, most people just took it as a strange, amusing anecdote. So did I, honestly. But then I met Morel.
We were on a date. Can you imagine? She tells me a story, and it's the most detailed report of the 𝗀𝗀𝗏𝗀 phasmid I've ever heard. The sounds. She told me it hissed.
So that's how they met. This is beyond significant for them.
It did, yes. Like reeds in a gust of wind.
The way it moved, the colour, how some of its limbs were white, like marble. It matched perfectly with what I know from other accounts. It was amazing. If it weren't for Lena, I might have given up hope.
Our first.
The glance is tender.
Not all of them. There is...
It's hard to say how big things are when you're quite small yourself. To me, it seemed to be taller than I.
How could she?
So she couldn't have made it up.
That's true, yes. I'm almost certain neither my mother nor my grandmother knew of it. It was only when I started telling my story as a teenager that boy, you trying to tell us you saw the insect.
I thought it was a wonderful story, man.
But I don't believe it. A child left unattended,
You're welcome, sweetie.
and she could get up and walk right into the reeds on her own, into the mud.
Nothing like the gratitude.
He tries to play it cool.
Good. Okay. And? Completely empty?
No locusts?
That's not ideal, but...
It just means the 𝗀𝗟𝗏𝗵𝘂 phasmid is even more clever than we thought.
She's engaging in a well-known self-deception called motivated reasoning. You should correct.
Of course, more clever.
You're dealing with a subject near and dear to their hearts. It might behoove you to tread.
Yes, the 𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗃𝗃 picked off the locusts and escaped. This is good news, though we'll have to reconsider the design of the traps.
Another trip to the reeds.
Of course. Be sarcastic. Unless you have an alternative hypothesis you'd like to venture. Actually, no. Excuse me for getting emotional. This is a big deal for us. You've helped us twice now, and brought some great...
Heartfelt gratitude. But does it feel like closure? Some kind of foul play might be afoot. Theft?
Thank you, it's an honor.
Helping cryptozoologists isn't really a priority for our organization, is it? The lieutenant looks out the window, impatiently. Consider the way the empty trap was disturbed, as though shaken. Most likely the hands of a young person, hands small enough to fit inside the trap. You should ask the red-headed boy, Kuno.
A little hooligan. But what would a child...
Oh, my dear Morel. You've been an old man for too long. Kids love to torment insects almost as much as they love to torment...
Delinquents, my favorite.
Oh, you've been such a dear to us.
Well, I see you've got all the help you need. I'll see you tonight at my place. Let's play 𝘂𝗮𝗏, but no more field.
After this is your last chance to talk to Gary.
Really, Gary?
Lena, I'm sorry, but you're not getting anywhere. It was... Morel, it's been fun. Really. But I need a bath, and I have deliveries to handle. When this tea is done, I gotta run.
No need to apologize, Gary. You'd be more than helpful. We'll have to take a rain check on that game of 𝘂𝗪𝗏𝗏 today. Hell no. I had no idea. And I'm still cross with him, to be honest. It's not like him.
I don't know what got into him, officer.
Gdzie ten Gary jest? Nie mogę z nim porozmawiać, nie?
Always a pleasure to see an officer.
O, to jest Gary.
Officers.
Aha. Czy Kuno o tej godzinie jeszcze siedzi?
Kuno saw you wield that can. Sweet, you're still a dink. Now, Kuno does...
Dobra, zróbmy saving, żeby nie było przypału.
Fuck does Kuno care? No, Kuno doesn't give a fuck about bugs.
So he knows locusts are bugs.
Oh my god, I told you that shit!
Shut up, see.
Now they're gonna take you to
She sounds like she's about to cry, out of disappointment.
Deny everything, Kuno. You need to...
Kuno's not gonna say anything without...
There's definitely something going on here. Remember his pig's head shack? You should check it out.
Kuno...
All around you, the hisses and chirps of locusts fill the musky air. The earthen floor of the shack like skyscrapers, spires of dirt and sand.
Well, detective, it appears you've solved the case of the locusts. For the missing locust case, which is... Yes, I feel we are nearing a real breakthrough. I'll let you handle it.
Dobra, no i teraz co by gra chciała, żebym zrobił? Zapytać Kuna jeszcze raz.
Fuck, does Kuno care? Yeah. Kuno took the books, so what?
So it wasn't the 𝗱𝗵𝗶𝗵𝗁. A wave of disappointment washes over you.
It's not Bugtown. It's the city of locusts. Locusts.
Stop!
You stop. It's like their fucking night. Locust City, Night City, City of Rage.
There's a tug of war over the name of it. The girl forces herself to watch again. The corners of her eyes.
Kuno, the pig wants to help you. Oh, that's how late.
An artist. Maybe I am an artist. You hear that, everyone? I'm a fucking artist now.
Did he just say I? Kuno usually calls Kuno Kuno.
Kuno made Kuno. Kuno says whatever the fuck he wants. I fucking say I when I wanna, and Kuno when I wanna. Kuno's free. Kuno's free to fucking die, bitch.
This is what he sometimes does when things get tense.
Oh my god, Kuno! He's gonna make you
Yo, fuck you, see? Kuno can be what Kuno wants to be. Kuno's his own man. Kuno's free. Kuno made himself into Kuno. Kuno can make himself into anything. Kuno can make himself into a pig if he wants. Kuno can make himself into a... Kuno doesn't give a shit.
Don't make yourself into a pig, Kuno. You'll have to take me away.
So that's what this is about.
I don't believe you.
For once, the boy is lost for words. He turns completely red now. You got him. Now convince him to leave the cryptozoologist's traps alone.
I don't give a shit. I don't need the locusts anyway. Shit is all lame now. C was right.
The girl's face appears again, above the fence, just long enough to make eye contact with Kuno.
Kuno's gonna let the fucking locusts die. It don't mean anything. It's shit. Kuno just likes to focus. Kuno likes to concentrate on shit. Bill Pig, you really shouldn't have fucked with Kuno City. The fuck are they trying to catch anyway? With the traps?
He recognizes the name.
Bitches think Kuno doesn't know shit. The fuck out of here.
There's silence between the two children. They're not...
Fuck does Kuno care? Kuno...
Dobra, lecimy dalej. My z tą latarką, nie?
Oh, hello, sweetie.
Hello, officer. So it was just a child.
Thank you for telling us, sweetie. This is good news, right? It means...
She acts chipper, but something's changed.
Yeah, you're right. We just need to restock the empty trap. Then we'll need to inspect it.
Darling, I told you to take it easy. You're getting sick. Maybe it's time to go home.
You're right, you're right. We can come back next season, when it's warmer.
That's just something people tell themselves when they fail.
Ja pierdolę. Lecimy w to dalej?
You can? Fine. It's better than having these people get pneumonia on the call.
He wants to see this tale through as much as you. Otherwise, he'd have stopped this already. But
Really? It's too much, officer.
What morale means is
Here's a fresh batch of locusts. They should slide right down the funnel. And thank you again. We will definitely mention you, should this lead to a discovery.
Ja pierdzielę, co my robimy w ogóle? Głupie to jest. Która była pusta? Pusta była ta... Pusta była ta z czołu... Ta obok bunkru. A niedaleko bunkru to była ta pusta. Ale jak tam się szło, to jest już zupełnie inna sprawa. Kurtka umyta. Wait, trzeba oddalić trochę, bo tak to ja nie zobaczę nic. Nie, naokoło. Gdzieś było w tą stronę. Obok kościoła? Może niekoniecznie, ale... Zobaczymy, czy będzie bunkier. Jest bunkier, to będzie to.
the reeds dance slowly around the locusts, dazed from being transported. Slowly, but they're not really going to get the chance to get comfortable here.
Good. Now that's done. When can we get to our impending... Don't answer that. It was a rhetorical question.
Dobra. Zgłoś się teraz do Leny, dobra. Jedną rzecz chciałem tu jeszcze zobaczyć, jak jestem w tej okolicy. Niedaleko był ten ziomek.
The light vanishes inside the concrete slit. The structure goes deep under the earth. There's no echo. And maybe it's just a storm drain for the sewer.
No idea. Could be connected to one of the buildings around here. We might find her down somewhere. There's an old storm drain system beneath Martin. In conclusion, she could be under any building. I hope not.
Okej. Czy gdzieś w okolicy tutaj, tak? Ona może być. O, przedmiot leczący, super.
The once bright mural towers above you, saying,
Znalazłeś pustą pułapkę. O! O! Czyli to może być tutaj. To może być to miejsce właśnie. Gdzieś tędy?
A row of ghostly shades facing a crumbling wall. With another, a host of men, they stand ordinary, a host of, they stand
Chyba. Nie to, błagam.
A host of men, they stand ordered comrades.
Błagam, no. Ale jak tam może być wejście jakieś? Dobra, idę do tej Leny, zobaczymy. I od 22 będę mógł odebrać broń. Czy to też musimy zrobić, dobra. Trup już nie wisi. Profeska. Tam z tydzień wisiał, ale jest okej.
Hello, dear. Thank you for doing that, dear.
Her smile is weary. Her earlier ebullience has left her.
Morel still isn't feeling well. I convinced him to stay at Gary's to get some rest. I'm afraid the cold has really gotten to him. I'm sorry, dear. You've had to drudge through them so many times. Such is field work. A young person's game, as they say.
Her voice is shaky. What is going on here?
Morel will eventually, or we'll talk Gary into going back out, perhaps.
The lieutenant stares at his shoe, caked in mud. He doesn't say anything.
Zajmiemy się tym.
That really is too much, sweetie. Thank you for your dedication, but I can see you're coming down with a cough.
Very strange. Why is she not letting you do this? It's like she's given up.
Co się stało, Leno? Jest pani jakaś inna.
Different? How?
Answering a question with a question, for example.
Zrezygnowała pani z szukania? Nie mówi mi pani wszystkiego.
I'm not. It's not that.
O co chodzi?
It's a strange feeling. I haven't really told this to anyone, but you are a police officer. Do you ever wonder if some lovely story from your childhood is just that? A story? Or a dream? Seeing the 𝗀𝗪𝗮𝗵𝗁 was just a story I used to tell people. I didn't really think about whether it was real or not. Morel's so proud of it. He always tells everyone.
A terrible sting in the heart. Regret.
Mam wrażenie, że pani to wszystko zmyśliła.
No, at least I don't think I did, but Morel was so eager to believe my story was evidence of the 𝗏𝗵𝗁's existence, that I'm some queen of the cryptozoologists. That, and for years his belief made me believe too.
That I am a queen? An extraordinary witness to grace.
But now, we're both getting old, and he's still working himself sick out in those reeds looking for it. But what if I was just wrong? I think I was.
The lieutenant opens his notebook, but doesn't write anything.
Myślę, że tak.
An acorn is not the same as the tree. That requires time, diligence, and care. All qualities these two seem to share in abundance.
But it is. We've spent years searching for the 𝗏𝗏𝗁, hunting it together. Without it, what are we? If I hadn't led him down this path, he could have a steady job lecturing at a university.
You know, this reminds you of the Paracanassian theory of love. In essence, love is a relay out of death. Generation by generation, our love remains in our progeny. Lay some of that on her.
Oh, sweetie, I don't think the Pericarnassians were thinking of people in my situation. I was a paraplegic before we met. He didn't know before I arrived, on our first date. If I weren't the queen of the cryptozoologists...
She has to swallow to relax her throat. It's keeping her from talking.
Maybe. But then why do I not dare tell him? I've wasted enough of your time with this drama. I really must stop talking about it lest I start crying and waste more of your time.
Zabrała nam w chuj czasu.
What you have to know is the 𝗀𝗪𝗮𝗵𝗁 probably does not exist. Let us fools chase our ghosts. There are a million better things to do with your life.
Are there? Some of the other things are pretty bad.
Kurde. Co odpowiedzieć?
I'm not sure of anything. Sometimes I still see it, you know. The real memory Not the memory of the memory, but it's so hard to tell the two apart. Either way, I should go. Poor Morel is running a fever, and I need to get him home to Jamrock before we overstay our welcome with Gary.
Dobra, mogę sprawdzić.
Really?
Oh, sweetie. Please don't get stuck on a dream. Take it from me and Morel.
To była moja przyjemność, proszę pani.
Likewise, sweetie.
A waste of time. A dream. A lie. Like that, she drives off. The gas engine putters quietly as she gets to the doors, then pushes them open. Outside the cold.
We should go too.
Hi again, gendarme. Bye-bye, gendarme.
Okej, tutaj nic też nie mogę zrobić. Z tymi chłopczykami też nie mam po co rozmawiać. Miałem tu coś do zrobienia jeszcze? Ciao na promenadzie nie załatwimy, bo się biblioteka zamknęła. A, broń! Tego nie robimy też.
The surrounding blaze of the electric lights makes the white on blue police livery of the motor carriage seem do something important, something murder related. There's always something important. This is a 𝗂𝗵𝗵𝗏, the Caprice Motor Corps follow-up to their highly successful workhorse, 𝗂𝗵𝗵𝗏𝗁, and the answer to the 𝘠𝗏𝗏's racing breed, 𝗱𝗶 series. With its air-cooled, rear-mounted 12-cylinder compression ignition engine, driving the rear wheels through a 4-speed manual gearbox, the 𝗂𝗍𝗏 is able to reach 100 kilometers per hour in 13.5 seconds. The high center of balance is offset by a large battery bank mounted at the bottom of the cabin, feeding all the auxiliary systems and making the 𝗂𝗍𝗏 effectively. Due to a quite steep price tag, it is very unusual to see one in police livery.
You want to take a closer look? 130.
I reckon that's a 7-liter V12 there. Man, that's got to be a major advancement over the KR-18GU engine.
7.2. Supercharged.
Saying these words brings him immense joy.
Yes, an extraordinary machine.
Helium headlights would improve the range and quality of the visual field a lot.
Actually, I have a pair at home. Just haven't gotten around to fitting them yet. I need to lay some wiring for the ballast first.
Może jak rozwiążę tę sprawę, to zrobilibyśmy to razem.
Maybe. Yes, definitely maybe.
And means no.
Okej, ruszajmy.
As you hold your ledger's clip under the headlamp, an iridescent hologram appears. A street grid and
There she is. Revachol.
around the borders of the watermark the rectangular watermark is overlaid with the logo. You catch a faint glimmer from
Let me see. Right here. No, it does not.
the rectangular watermark is overlaid.
Let me see. Right here. It has its problems.
There are many of them. And the first row has 18. Not bad. The next, you count 216. The last, that's it.
Those are perforation.
Alpha male.
The first row represents your... That's what it says. Yes. This next row... Wow, more than 200. It's quite a lot. Even for some... Call it what you... Right. For an RCM, there are certain... But it seems as though you... Yes.
It's not a problem for him to...
Everyone has... Personally, I... Oh, this and that. Why not take...
It's meant in earth.
If you want to pour out the booze you've been carrying around on duty, I'm certainly not going to stop you.
A dark pool of cheap Pilsner appears at your feet.
Very noble of you. Are we done here?
The lieutenant nods.
Right. I'll go turn off the lights.
You can now see your statistics on your journal page.
Kurde, do 22 jakoś musimy się przeczołgać. Da się jakoś czas przesuwać? Da się jakoś przeczekać czas? 𝗵𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗵𝗁. Właśnie, mieliśmy z tą babką jeszcze iść na ten... na spacer. Właśnie, co na to? Mamy trochę czasu w sumie.
The waves are beginning to die down. Look at those little bastards. Simmer down.
Z Kimem trochę...
Simmer down, bastards.
Kim zawsze za mną jest, no co za problem.
The waves are beginning to die down.
Oh yes, she does.
Ajajajajaj.
Drinks more of that after a man died at sea.
Ale co mam w takim razie zrobić?
What if I told you it is actually possible to go on a date sober?
Proponuję rozwiązanie, które jest po prostu eksperymentalne.
Before recorded history, men and women were able to do simple, very primitive things together sober. Acknowledge the situation and keep it basic.
Tym pijakiem.
I have, and I don't really.
You just want to go for a walk. What kind of a monster doesn't want to go for a walk? Walks are innocent.
Przejdźcie ze mną.
Just a walk? I don't know, officer. I would not have taken you for an innocent perambulator.
Tak, niepotrzebnie.
Where would this walk take us, officer?
Nothing creepy, strange, or out there. Keep it eerie and simple.
Officer, I thought we had a walk of our own in mind. One that results in a solved murder investigation.
Oh no. You come with us. Seriously, I insist. You need to understand that nothing is going to happen. We're just walking. That's it.
Having the lieutenant along is a fail-safe measure against any possible funny business.
I guess I can come along for a quick stroll. I mean, if the ma'am insists, of course.
I do, yes. Stroll on the beach sounds nice, doesn't it? All right, I'll see the kids haven't killed each other and we'll meet at Land's End in 15 minutes?
She doesn't wait for an answer. You better get ready.
Spotka się z Lilien na krańcu. No, dzieci nie pozabijały się. Gdzieś tu? O, jest.
The woman gazes steadily at the waves. A sudden gust picks up her dark hair and lets it fall again, tousled, wild. She brushes a few stray locks from her eyes, and only then spots you approaching.
Aye, so here you are. It's late and the sun is going down. It'll be dark soon. If we stay here long enough, we will be joined by a cortege of drunks and teenagers. Know that you're not the first guy to bring a girl to Land's End. This is what the locals call a make-out spot. That is not going to happen here today. I just want to make that clear, Dimples.
Her thoughts are still elsewhere, with distances across the water, and with the water itself. Across the rusty water, that's La Delta, the financial district. In the mist-covered distance, towers rise as a rebuke to the poverty of this coast.
Daj się pani zaskoczona, że dotarłem.
Drinking men aren't known for keeping their appointments.
Prawdę mówiąc, jestem całkiem niezły w planowaniu. Próbuję tylko być odpowiedzialnym dorosłym.
So this is what this is. Responsible. Well, maybe it is. Maybe you'll have a revelation and crack whatever you're on.
Tak, wywiera to na mnie dobry wpływ.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves now.
Her laughter is throaty and warm. It rhymes with the sunlit waves and the cries of the gulls. She nods to you, a playful glint in her eyes. As she turns to face the sun, reflected in the waves and the skyscrapers rising across the bay, you cannot help following her steady gaze. You should say something, anything. Maybe the tequila sunset thing.
Nie gadaj nic o swojej ponurej przeszłości.
The remains of the dying sun are reflected in the waves and the skyscrapers rising across the bay. Your mind clears for a moment as your senses take it all in. Not just the glass skyscrapers, fragile looking in the shimmering air. River Esperance flowing into the bay.
Isn't it strange for this all-powerful thing, the sun, to be so generous towards us? You know, the best time to go out fishing is usually towards sunset, when the water is warmer.
The sun also falls on the Capeside tenements and war-torn ruins. An old sea fortress juts out, seemingly impervious to the sheen cast over everything else. The sun does little for the dead, and those hopelessly lost in their own minds. Or people living in desert climates with sparse vegetation and little drinking water.
Dlatego nazwała pani swoją łódź Słońce?
Oh, that was a bit of pride and a bit of superstition.
And a bit of conceptual unity too, it being yellow and all.
Nie wiem, czy ludy pustyni są zadowolone z nadmiaru słońca.
Now you're just nitpicking. But I concede. Maybe desert people sometimes disagree.
There's salt in the air, and the cries of the gulls and the skewers. Grit of the sand and the green glint of broken bottles. But still your gaze always returns to the...
It's bringing us spring, summer. It's entirely on our side. No matter what we do or who we are. For absolutely no reason. It's unlike no other powerful being. Certainly no powerful organization or government. How can that be?
Cóż, coś musi być po naszej stronie.
I guess we wouldn't really be here if that thing wasn't on our team.
Maybe some general remarks before you say something big. Work your way up to the cool.
No, średnio. Ma pani haczyki do łowienia ryb w uszach.
These aren't real fish hooks, silly.
They're earrings shaped to look like fish hooks. A drunk called Rosemary brought them to me. I kept them.
She's right. They're made mostly of plastic. A cheap novelty gift you can buy from a flower shop or a kiosk. The wind ruffles her hair.
Thank you. I'm half Ūbi. My mother was from 𝗂𝗵𝗶𝗃𝗁. Not a lot of sun there, I hear, though I've never been.
The wind ruffles her hair as she looks at the setting sun.
I always do. I like it. It's like being on another planet, a water planet, with water worries and water joys.
The lieutenant makes a show of glancing at his watch and tapping his foot.
Good one. I'm gonna go with the rope.
She thinks it was a riddle. She must not even know of that business. Better that way.
No, spróbujmy.
Say what? Something interesting? Impossible.
Brains generally aren't very good, are they? I prefer backs, arms, shoulders, lungs too. You know, the wind's gonna pick up soon, and I have to go, but... Have this. The sun's good, but it doesn't stick things. I've no use for it anymore. No. Men around here are too drunk to pose a threat to me.
The lieutenant looks at the sword with distrust. Do not bring it into a gunfight, he thinks. Please understand, it's merely ceremonial.
Doubt it. But thank you for the company.
This is as far as it goes with her. You'd need to put a year between you and your last drink for anything more.
Dziękuję za ten wspólny spacer.
Farewell.
I ten mój ziomek z latarką,
I
nie?
hope this has been refreshing for you, detective. Let's return to our search with...
No kurwa, bierzemy go.
Yes? What do you want to know? What's there to say? It's just stupidity. The cop kind. Our precincts can't decide if Martinez is part of Jamrock or the industrial harbor. Yours or mine, as if we somehow own parts of the city. Typical street gang mentality. Well, sort of. It's less a matter of who gets to police Martinez than who has to. It's an orphan district, in other words. I think the dispatch desk just told both our stations about the hanging. There was...
So, he volunteered to represent the 57th, but not out of competitiveness. On the contrary, somewhere in your mind hangs a dark green blackboard. There are two columns. One says, cases solved. The other, confirmed kills. The rows are endless. Jean Vicmer, Judith Minot, a special consultant. What was his name? Your brothers have left you.
Well, technically, the official record keeper has been known to double-count murder-suicides.
A common accounting gimmick used to inflate precinct stats.
I'm good enough for this case. I'm not here to compete. I came because I had to. My fellow officers, the sergeants in particular, would have made this scene into a circus. Martinez? Nothing. It's just a puddle at the end of some drain pipe. No one cares about this place. They care about sports. Most of our colleagues don't even know how to get here. North of the interchange doesn't exist.
Clearly, he has already formed his own theory. He opens one hand and looks at it.
Which school do you subscribe to? Mambo or Jumbo? It's always good to have a police officer who can see and feel. Was there anything else you wanted to ask about the competition? Yes, it's a wholly pointless matter. Forget I ever mentioned it.
He's actually glad it's addressed now. Look at you. It's because you're a failure. They sent you to slight Precinct 57. Just think about it for a second. You're a raging alcoholic who showed up 3 days late and argues with his necktie. You weren't sent here to win.
I've considered it. It would be immensely ugly of them, not to mention unprofessional, but I also think it's somewhat unlikely.
Czemu?
I checked the records. This jurisdiction dispute, who polices Martinez, reaches back to the 30s. It's as old as my station. And all this time we can't decide who gets Martinez? I think, yes, both stations would prefer a win.
Uważasz, że byłem ich pewniakiem?
Safe? No. But you're old. You've made it this far. Something has brought you through. We've only just started working together, so I don't know what it is yet. But it's there. So no, I don't think they sent you as a joke. And even if they did, they are in for a surprise.
He's right. There are no airtight theories, just paranoia. You've given it some thought. Now let's...
Dobra, jeszcze 11 minut musimy przegadać,
Yes.
mordo.
What do you want to know? You mean like a brief? Do you want me to brief you again? 3 days ago, the RCM Emergencies Desk received a report about a security guard who was found hanged. During that time, the victim had been stripped of his belongings. The caller did not identify him, but used the word lynching. There is an ongoing labor dispute between the local dock workers and the logistics company Wild Pines. I was told we should approach the death as they, classier as we've come to suspect, didn't identify themselves in any way. The tone was muffled using a device of some sort. The desk could identify neither the caller's age nor sex.
Co się tak ukrywać?
There's a strong prejudice against involving the RCM in what's seen as union matters. The dock workers' union is the de facto police in Martinez. Now it appears they've started executing too. We cannot allow that. Just to be clear, we are police officers. It's our job to find the killer. That's the case. Uncover. Good. What about me? Good. Excuse me? Detective, if I may be frank, you seem to be in a deranged state. You have trouble remembering things. You've misplaced.
Oh, so you're an unaccountable wreck who has to be supervised. You don't have to take this display of authority.
That's good. Except that I do, detective. Some you time? This is a police investigation, not a journey of self-discovery. You'll still have your evenings to yourself. Please do. We wouldn't want your regiment to spill over into the investigation.
The lieutenant is pretty sure self-care is just a euphemism for nihilism.
No dobra, no to jeżeli to mamy z głowy... Siedem minut byśmy gdzieś przegadali.
An old door worn by elements guards the
No, to by się też przydało tam wejść, ale... Może nie teraz. Dobra, czy możemy coś z wami porozmawiać, tak żeby przegadać 7 minut?
close.
But just imagine the moves you could pull. Goodbye.
Okej.
Good morning! Yeah! It's too hardcore, in fact. It sucks up all the errands and... Oh! Can't escape the sound! Yeah! The first...
Could it be?
There's nothing... Sometimes isn't some... It's like... I think it's...
If anything, it's
We can all hear it's not hyper...
the young man's
The...
RCM. That's the acronym.
Dobra, idziemy. Promenadę. Kościół. Jeszcze raz, dawaj mi opis. O, głównie jestem komunistą. Zabici ludzie 3, porozwiązane sprawy 216, lata służby 18, honor 5, dobro zwykłenia 25. Wow. Jest targ rybny. Włączmy mapę. Wybrzeże. Ślady. Sztanga. Dobra, zróbmy zapis, w razie jakbym coś zjebał jeszcze po drodze. Jest wioska, dobra. I aż zobaczę promenadę. Tą stronę? Czy to mógł być targ rybny? Jest tam szansę?
Towers above you, saying, "Feld electrical, R&D."
Ten 2%. Feld. Gdzie ta babka może być? Tu mógł być targ rybny? Chuj go tam wie. A, Jezu. Nie tu? Zajebiście, pieniądze. Where the fuck jest targ rybny? Obok kościoła? Może tu jest targ rybny? O, jest ktoś. Dobra.
Put your hands where I can see them.
Okej.
This is the pigs. Show me your hands.
Scavenged, battery-powered police lights protrude from her back. The flickering light show reveals a gun in her shaking. Her hand is trembling from some sort of neurodegenerative disease.
Madame, please drop the firearm immediately.
Tylko zwykła latarka, proszę się uspokoić.
Suspect is displaying aggression. Officer, under you. I am the police. Don't move. Don't move.
Nie poruszam się.
Suspect is on the loose. Suspect at large. Officer, administer street justice. That one extra lick with a baton or extra knee strike above was what was actually
In her mind, you're under control now. The next moment, you're not. It appears the things she says are very real to her.
Be careful, detective. Don't do anything that might set her...
You have to go for the gun sooner or later. Perhaps you can learn crucial facts before you do.
Officer in need of assistance.
Ma'am, please. We want to help you, but you need to lower that weapon.
Disturbance reported. Authorized deadly force.
Big red key. That's code for the battering ram. Cop talk. You know this. What happened to make her like this? Yes, sure. But also in a less abstract way. The neurodegenerative disease I mentioned earlier. The woman looks at you, but...
This is the police!
Hands on there. So this is what the weather's like on the other end of a cop's gun.
Fascinating. See? This is what happens when we are not around.
It's a goddamn police shitbag.
As she waves her hands, you notice familiar-looking ampoules and packets sticking out of the mountain of police gear on her. She thinks she's a police officer. Try treating her like a police officer.
What?
With a swift, poorly coordinated move.
Officer compromised. Unlawful impersonation.
Okay, she's actually more agitated now. My bad.
Confiscated.
I don't think she's on drugs.
Back up. No. No.
There's a scenario unfolding in her head.
What's the situation, officer?
Law enforcement compromised.
Does she not believe you two are actually police officers?
License and registration.
It's not a code, just disjointed words. Here's the plan. You jerk left, dash right, close the distance.
Udało się?
Ready?
No jasne.
No, that won't be necessary. Look closer. The gun, all three barrels, red.
I've been thinking that too, but it's impossible to tell for certain in these lighting conditions.
Suicide by cop. Split-second decision.
Oh my God.
For a moment there,
I was 80% sure the gun is empty, and still the instinct.
What is this? These gunpowders have bullets. What is this? Why did you sell me?
She looks. Grab the gun, right now. This...
No one ever cares anymore.
Poor woman. We need to figure out what to do with her now.
Nobody's ever around.
Her scratched skin is warm to the touch, but the person inside doesn't even know you're there.
She's in a stupor. I've seen this before. God, honestly, I don't know. Dementia, probably. Dementia and Channel 8, and loneliness. Could be. Her hands were trembling, and I don't think there's any need for that. We could let Titus know. This is a perfect problem for the local peacekeepers too. That would just be a waste of paper. I mean, then we can ask him once we get back to the whirling. But we have to hurry, because it's late, and they might have already gone home. But I think we're done here for now.
Please, leave the radio on.
Reflex to what? Being left exactly, with only the voice of 𝘂𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗁 to accompany her on Channel 8. She stands motionless, just a heap of clothes and flashes now. The woman stabbed is one of those things a police cap.
No nieźle. Ale udało się. Dziękuję bardzo za oglądanie. Mam nadzieję, że wam się spodobał ten odcinek. Do usłyszenia, siemanko. No i cześć. Dziękuję bardzo za oglądanie mojego materiału. Mam nadzieję, że wam się podobało. Jeżeli wam się spodobało, pamiętajcie, żeby kliknąć kciuk w górę, zasubskrybować i kliknąć dzwoneczek. Wszystko, aby zawsze być na bieżąco. Jeżeli macie coś do napisania, napiszcie komentarz, dzięki temu będę wiedział, że jesteście, że wam się podoba i przede wszystkim, że chcecie, żeby tych materiałów pojawiało się więcej. Dodatkowo, jeżeli chcecie się wdzięczyć za to, co robię i podoba wam się moja praca, pamiętajcie, że możecie kliknąć w moją nazwę, wejdziecie do strony głównej mojego kanału, kliknąć opcję wesprzyj i za 2 zł, 10 albo 30 zostaniesz wspierającymi według waszej tutaj chęci i potrzeby oddania trochę tej dobroci w moją stronę. Dziękuję bardzo za oglądanie, trzymajcie się, do usłyszenia i życzę wam miłego. Bardzo serdecznie dziękuję wszelkim wspierającym za to, że jesteście. Dziękuję tym, którzy byliście wspierającymi i dziękuję wszystkim tym, którzy po tym właśnie filmiku zdecydowaliście się na wsparcie. Przede wszystkim to nie jest tak, że wspieracie osobę, która ma tysiące widzów. Wspieracie małą społeczność, której dzięki każdej osobie z was, każdej złotówce, którą mi przelejecie, każdym 2 złotym, które jesteście wspierającymi ptasiakami, za każdą tą jedną osobę bardzo serdecznie dziękuję i za każdą tą złotówkę dziękuję, ponieważ dzięki temu po prostu mam chęci, mam motywację i przede wszystkim mam dodatkowe finanse, które pozwalają utrzymać ten kanał i utrzymać wszystko, co się wokół niego dzieje, włącznie z kosztami prądu, kosztami kupowania nowego sprzętu, kupowania nowych gier i w ogóle całego czasu, które spędzam, czy to nagrywając, czy to streamując i czy to, jeżeli w przypadku wielu sytuacji rozmawiając i wspierając osoby, które w jakiś sposób czują się gorzej. Więc moja działalność jest bardzo szeroka i cieszę się, że doceniacie ją. Jeżeli ktoś z was czuje się gorzej i chciałby ze mną porozmawiać i ma jakieś takie problemy, możecie do mnie napisać, zagadać. Wszystko na Discordzie, a link do Discorda w opisie.